Hello friends, we are going to have some fun today and we are going to use some vintage music paper, this beautiful DigiKit given to me by my friend Tina of Tina Loves to Craft, and some other awesome elements to create a tag to go in our future steampunk junk journal. I will be sure to link Tina's DigiKit in my description box as well as her YouTube channel. The first thing I'm going to do is take a piece of cardstock, and I found this at the thrift store, by the way, which is a great place to look. It's not a common thing to find in the thrift store, but if you see it, buy it because cardstock is not cheap. So I'm going to cut that to the size that I want my tag. I'm going to put the glue on the cardstock, and then I'm going to slide that cardstock underneath my music paper, and then I will spread that all around with my scissors. You know how I like to press that down, and I do that to spread the glue to make sure that there's no air bubbles or no lumpiness. Now that that's on there, I'm just going to cut that out with my scissors. I don't like to pre-cut both pieces of paper and then glue them together because the chances are I am not going to be able to pre-cut them to the exact same size. So I generally will glue one onto the other and then cut around. If you saw some of my previous videos, you might have seen that I put some washi tape on this little stencil because the images are so very close together. And I used the washi tape so that my brush wouldn't accidentally go into one of the other images and add ink to my page. Now, for this tag, I'm only going to put maybe between 1 and 3 stencils on. I'm doing a little one at the bottom, which is like a little thing with leaves on it, and then I think I'll put 1 or 2 of the bottle shape. If you remember how much I absolutely love that bottle shape, I used it in, I think it was the check register that I created. Just so that you know, if you're new here, well, first of all, welcome, but also if you're checking out my steampunk work for the first time, I want to let you know that I've been doing a series. So if you look in my description box, there will be a link to the playlist that has the series on it. And I've already completed one journal in the steampunk style, and I did that using a digital kit that I created called Steampunk Dreams. And then for this journal that I'm going to be working on, I am using my friend Tina's kit, and I'll be making another journal with that as well. I have a secret to share with you. I have actually already started on the cover, but I've only done a few things. And this lace that I'm using here, I am also using on the cover, which is why I chose to use it here. Very excited about the cover because it was a purse that I had bought, and I love changing purses into journal covers. But that will be in a future video. So let's get back to this project. I'm trimming this lace to size, and it's definitely still too big. It's covering up too much of that music paper. As I mentioned before, this is vintage music paper. It comes from the 1950s. I absolutely love it. I have quite a stash of it. A while ago, well, actually, let me tell you about that stash. I had gone to the flea market and I had found a gentleman who had a bunch of vintage music books. And I grabbed a bunch and I said, how much for this stack? And he said, oh, take as many as you want, for like $1. And I was like, oh my goodness. I said, well, please let me give you more money than that. And so I did, because that was just too generous, honestly. And I go back to him frequently just to see if he's got anything new because he has such fair prices. It's absolutely incredible. I haven't been in a while. I'd like to go back again just to see if he's got anything. But I have plenty of music paper. I do sell it in my Etsy shop if you need some. I feel like I price my stuff that I have lots of. I feel like I price it quite fair. I usually will go look around on Etsy and then I usually try to, either be comparable or even below. Usually I'm a bit below most other people, especially if I have a lot of something and I want to sort of de-stash. So at any rate, back to this project. I was telling you about the vintage music paper. So I dyed some of it, as you can see. So I coffee dyed it first, and then I spritzed it. And this is spritzed with blue. And Tina's kit has some blue accents, as you can see in this hat that I had cut out. There's blue flowers on there. So she's got some blue flowers, and she's got blue, like a blue diamond here and there in the kit. So I thought this blue vintage music paper would just work great with it. So you can see I'm using my hot glue gun to glue this piece of lace that I have cut out. I trimmed it up a bit to give it some shape and to make it fit more nicely on the tag, and so that it didn't cover those bottles that I lovingly stenciled onto the music paper. While I was trimming up the lace, I ended up with a few pieces of scrap. So I think I'm going to take one of those scrap pieces once I glue this hat down. I'm going to take one of those scrap pieces and put it along the top. I have to be honest with you guys, I do not know why I feel so inspired to use my stickles in the steampunk journal, but I just do. So we're going to go with it, right? Why not add a little sparkle to our steampunk? Steampunk usually, I think, leans sort of grungy. It doesn't have to, but it tends to lean sort of grungy. But my kit is a little bit different than many you would see out there. And I have to say Tina's is too, with her blue accents and all of that. That's not something we always see. So I really like that. So it's kind of inspired me to glam it up just a little bit. Plus, steampunk images typically lean towards the Victorian era. And that was a glitzy time. So I feel inspired to go ahead and add some stickles to this hat. I have many colors of stickles, but believe it or not, in the pack that I got, there's no blue. So I'm going to try out the purple. Sometimes when you use stickles, they'll sort of lean into the colors that you're using. Well, we're going to try out the purple and sort of see what happens with it. But I think either way, even if it doesn't lean blue, I think that's okay. I think it's going to look great anyway. This color here is like a teal green. It really sort of leans into the teal, but I'm going to use that on the leaves anyway because I think it'll be good enough to just give us a little sparkle and a little bit of a green tone. I also have silver and pearl. I'm choosing to use the pearl one on the feather, and I think that is going to be a really, really nice touch. I have a piece of jewelry here. Now this came in one of those, it's like a grab bag at the thrift store, and it's got, broken pieces or, one-off pieces or whatever. Well, this is an earring. I was trying to show you here that I had taken my needle nose pliers and folded the post into a circle, and that way I can either thread this or I can put it on a ball pin. And in this case, indeed, I am going to use a ball pin. You guys know I love ball pins. I love the way that they look. And they work great. They make attaching things really, really easy. But I have to tell you, my love for ball pins started way before I got into crafting. Sometimes when we purchase something at the store, the tag comes on a ball pin. And that's when I fell in love with them. I didn't even know what they were called, but I was like, what are these adorable little pins? And then when I realized crafters used them, I was like, oh wow. So I went ahead and bought myself a little multi-pack on Amazon. So I like this on here, but it looks a little plain to me. So I'm going to look around on my desk and find something. And I actually, believe it or not, I don't even know why I had this blue tulle on my desk. I actually had blue and purple. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to take some of this and tie this onto this ball pin and see how that looks. So I'm just sort of threading it through. I'm going to tie it in a knot. I'm going to tie it really, really tight, and then I'll trim it. Friends, I absolutely love how this is turning out. I think that blue is just the perfect touch. I really appreciate you checking out this tag. This was a lot of fun to make. Thanks for watching. See you soon.